The journey of becoming a firefighter is no easy feat. It requires navigating and overcoming challenges to protect and serve the community. Established in 1866, the San Francisco Fire Department has evolved and grown to represent the community and meet their needs along the way. The Division of Training is responsible for training all new members entering the department, as well as develop and provide comprehensive fire suppression and emergency medical service instruction to all members of the department. This video provides a glimpse into the 130th Recruit Academy Class 21-week training program in preparation to take on one of the most challenging and rewarding professions in the world, to become a firefighter in the San Francisco Fire Department.
10 minutes.
Okay.
That's
We'll do it loud and then give me a time when we get to the gate. Ready? All right, let's go.
I know that there's going to be a lot of struggling. I know it's not going to come easy. I know it's not going to be given to me.
Am I going to be able to keep up? Am I going to be able to do all of the physical aspects of what this academy is going to request of me?
On the one hand, you've been given this opportunity that you've worked so hard to get to. But on the other hand, you don't have the job yet, and you have so much work you have to do before you can even get out into the field. So it's kind of this double-edged sword of, I made it, but also, this is just the beginning.
We're entrusted with training these people. Our job isn't to weed people out, it's to make people successful. We want people to be San Francisco firefighters. The chief of the department picked the people to be San Francisco firefighters. Our job is to train them to be San Francisco firefighters. We make sure that we're challenging them, but at the same time we're supporting them, and that's a really fine line, because we want to see how these people react under certain situations. It is imperative for us as a training academy and a training staff to make sure that we're getting the best out of these individuals. I always tell them, we're going to challenge you, but we're also going to support you. We're not going to trick you into certain things, but we want to make sure that we make it difficult and we make it so that you are performing at your best when somebody's on their worst day.
The process is grueling. However, the reward at the end is what it's all about. We have 21 weeks to form this group of 51 into functioning individuals on a working engine or truck company in the city. And the challenge there is that when you walk through the door, you should be able to take care of business right away. When I first got on the job and I hit the streets, I got my first fire, which was a 4th alarm fire, which they throw a lot of people out in a big building, happened in the first 30 minutes of me actually stepping into the firehouse that day one.
It's interesting because we hire a vast group of people and with different backgrounds and experiences, which is kind of interesting as well, because it kind of makes up our department, and then we have a kind of hodgepodge of people, but they all get taught the same thing. So we have people from, we have a guy in the class who was a social worker. We have a person who was a firefighter, multiple firefighters. Yes, San Francisco does their things a little differently than most of fire departments, but at least they have kind of an upper hand. So we kind of try to pair those people who have some sort of experience with people who don't in study groups. We tell them the first week, get into a study group, and that'll be your group for the rest of the academy. So you'll be the support group for each other.
My name is Julianne Martin. I am a recruit in the 130th Academy for the San Francisco Fire Department. The fire department, what really drew me to it to begin with was the concept that you're always learning, right? You're always learning something new. No fire is alike, no situation is alike, no medical call is going to be the same. And that aspect of something that's always changing is what really drew me to it. When I was 19, I enlisted in the United States Army, and I was in college at the time, so I was enrolled simultaneously in the Reserve Officer Training Corps program out of Lehigh University. So I was dual enrolled in Muhlenberg College and Lehigh University and completed my bachelor's from Muhlenberg, but commissioned out of Lehigh University as an officer in the California National Guard. When I graduated, I immediately went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri to complete my training for being a chemical officer, which is hazmat operations, hazmat technician. So I applied for the fire department because I think that my background in chemical hazmat with the Army would really be beneficial for the department as well.
High energy, that's how I would categorize Julie. Just always high energy and ability. She is very capable.
She's one of those people that pretty much anything she tries, she can do well with. I mean, she's a musician also, she's an artist.
She's definitely the kind of person that she'll push other people to be the best version of themselves just because she also wants to be the best version of herself. She's a very dedicated individual, and just growing up with her was a treat, but it was also a challenge too, because just the way that she is very competitive and ambitious.
My name is Emily Spagnardi, and I am a recruit with the San Francisco Fire Department. I remember Googling, how do I become a firefighter in a major city? I typed that into Google, and a lot of things came up. Stuff like getting certifications like your Firefighter 1, or getting your EMT, getting your paramedic. And these were all things that I knew nothing about. So it was a lot of research. For me, having lived in California, having visited the Bay Area many times, I kind of, at a certain point, just said to myself, I had just decided, the pinnacle for me of being a structure firefighter, of being a city firefighter, was coming to San Francisco. I am originally from New England. I grew up in a pretty small town in New Hampshire. When I was a kid, I never had firefighting on my radar. It was never something I really thought about doing. When I was in college, I studied environmental conservation. I always, even as a kid, always really appreciated the outdoors and really cared a lot about protecting the outdoors. So for years after college, I worked with kids in outdoor education. So taking kids on backpacking trips, taking kids on hiking trips, and just helping them develop an appreciation for the outdoors. It was basically just an opportunity to not have a desk job, and for years I was kind of just chasing that job that didn't involve sitting at a desk, allowed me to be outside, allowed me to work with people, which makes sense that it would eventually lead me to firefighting. Next thing I knew, I was heading up to Alaska to be a wildland firefighter, and that was the switch, and I never looked back at that point.
Emily as a person is very much someone who cares about other people and often will put other people's needs before her own. I think she's extremely caring and extremely thoughtful. I also think she's extremely adventurous as well. I remember when we first met, when we were living in Yosemite, always kind of being in awe of just her adventurous side.
You slide up for the adjustment. You say, set, set, roll.
My name is Janaina Yeta Paez. Everybody calls me Johnny for short. And I am a recruit with the 130th Academy for San Francisco Fire Department. I'm a city girl. I'm born right here in the city of San Francisco, born and raised. Literally my entire schooling has been right here in the city of San Francisco. And so that's part of me and part of my identity and what keeps me so grounded to the city that I was raised in. My brother is a firefighter, and he has been a firefighter for many years. He is absolutely infatuated with the job. He loves his job and always has tried to bring people along with him, right? Those that he loves and that he thinks would be fit for the job.
I told this lady about this service and about this career path back when she was 22 years old after she graduated from USF. I tried to put it in her ear, hey, I think you would be incredible at this job, at this profession. She said, I'll think about it. She kind of put it on the back burner, but she kind of wanted to have do her own path, and she did.
And so that's always been something that was in my ear. But to be honest, my encounter with the fire department that kind of sparked that interest and the reason as to why I wanted to become a firefighter. Because at the age of 15, I lost my mother to gun violence, and it was the fire department, when they came to my home, it was the reaction of the firefighters that I felt cold. Their reaction to my situation, I didn't feel support. That's just my perspective of the incident that happened, but that's something that stuck with me. I don't want someone like me to go through what I went through because I know how that felt. And so I took the leap of faith and I said, I'm gonna change my career entirely. But now I see for myself, just within my recruit class, that there is a lot of diversity. It was really comforting to me to see that and to know that these are the people who are gonna be my first family because we share a special bond.
She was ready, she was hungry, and every single drill that we did, every single practice that we did, all the exercising that she was doing, it's just that she was hungry for it. I couldn't possibly be more proud of her.
Control the door, I look up.
So our real basic building blocks, it's just like crawl, walk, run. Our crawling stage is like just putting your gear on. We have our PPE, which is about 20 pounds, our Scott packs, which are about 20 pounds. So just those two tests alone, you're throwing on 40 pounds of weight. And then by the end of the academy, we're having you put your PPE on, go on air, charge your SCBA, breathe through your bottle, climb up a ladder, crawl through a window, search for a victim, bring that victim to a window, and then extricate that victim out the window. So the progressions of our testing ramp up pretty quickly. I mean, in a 10-week cycle, it seems like a long time, but for the recruits, you can ask them. I'm telling you, it's a rigorous academy, and it keeps on getting harder.
Academy starts at 8 o'clock. From there, we do our PT.
Yell your number out!
Whatever it may be, whether it's running, then a circuit, or an amazing race. And that lasts anywhere from an hour to hour 30. From there, we go into the classroom. We learn about the different chapters, whether it's ventilation, hose appliances, building construction, whatever it may be. And, that usually takes us up into lunch. And then from there, we get separated into skills groups.
Like, you gotta constantly be thinking, like, where's my egress, how many victims, what's the floor plan?
Which we have typically about 4 rotations of the different skills in which we get touches.
It's still very early in the process. If you envision each class as like a bell curve where most of the people are in the middle, if you have a class that has really long tails, those are the ones that are harder to train because you have people at the back end who are really struggling. This class seems to have small tails. I don't see anybody struggling yet. I don't see anybody really truly standing out. But again, it's early. We haven't done any testing yet.
Stop!
I'm learning a lot about my fellow classmates. I know that they're gonna need me as well as I'm gonna need them in like our really, really difficult evolutions, our difficult training. And the first couple days are like crucial to understanding like how people react to certain situations because not everybody is the best under pressure. Not everybody's the fastest at tying a knot, but there are some people who are super fast at running hose lines, at throwing ladders.
Come on, throw it up. Now slide forward. Good.
Finding everybody's strong points and emphasizing those and using those to our advantages, that's really important in the first couple weeks.
Something that has challenged me probably the most and has been probably the biggest learning curve is really focusing on the ability to let go of something when it doesn't go well in the moment and move on to the next move on to the next thing. That, I think, has been one of the biggest challenges in this academy, because the reality is you make a lot of mistakes every day. You do a lot of things well too, but you make a lot of mistakes. And if you hold on to each one of those mistakes, it's just gonna snowball into more mistakes, and it's gonna lead to more stress and being hard on yourself.
I've had to learn a lot of different new skill sets, things that I wasn't familiar with, like chainsaws, how to operate chainsaws, how to hose lines. And so getting the technique, because a lot of this job is about the technique. It's not about having the brute strength or anything like that. It's using your body mechanics to your advantage.
Like when my body pulls down and I start
so
doing slow
if you're in the
motions.
back, you can still stand up, do some hip rotations and stuff in the back.
We have the academy set up that it gives everybody the opportunity to practice the skill set that they need to. San Francisco is its own entity in its own. We pride ourselves on the traditional fire department in the sense that we still use brass fittings, wooden ladders. We're surrounded by 3 sides of water, so we're an all-risk fire department. We have different facets of our fire department that you can go downtown, busy high-rise station. You can go out to the coast for surf rescue stations. We have a mix of everything, and we all have to be well-rounded firefighters and best at, our whole entire job to make sure that we're proficient.
As we train them, ultimately our roles will be to evaluate them at each point along the way. And the sort of tertiary role we have is to get them ready for firehouse culture. To be a firefighter requires a fair amount of discipline. You have to understand the rules of the game, understand how to behave, how to appear, how to interact with the public. And one of my roles is to make sure that the recruits understand that and are adhering to the codes of conduct and behavior that the department lays out.
Okay, everybody, so today is Monday, the Monday after my first big week of testing, 2 double-day testing on Thursday and Friday, where I had to do an EMS skill, take a written test, and then 8 different fire suppression manipulatives. So we got our report cards back today, and if you can't tell by the way that I'm smiling right now, is that I passed every skill that we had to do. Your girl got 0 deficiencies. So I'm very proud of myself of being able to pass.
Our saying is we don't fail people, they fail themselves. We give them all the information they need. We allow them extra hours prior to the start of class and stay late after hours. And we hope they take advantage of that if they need help, that they vocalize when they don't know something. And part of that is ego and putting that aside and saying, if I want to pass this class, I need to ask for help. There's really no slowing down. Once the train gets moving, it's not stopping for anybody. You're either on the train or you're off. We don't have time to stop. We really want them to pass, but they have to have their heart into it. If they think everything's going to be easy, that's not the way it works.
I want to speak about what happened on September 22nd, 2022, which was week 14, I believe, week 14 or 13. It was a big moment for me because it was the week that I got injured. I had the ladder not completely fall on me, but it contorted my body in such a way that it basically injured my shoulder. I had a little bit of nerve damage coming from the top of my right shoulder, radiating down. From what I remember, the ladder was coming down and there was a sudden movement. It swerved one way and then swerved back. And I just remember I couldn't really feel my right arm. I tried to hold onto the ladder and it just basically just hit me in a certain position, like right mid-clavicular, and I fell over, and I remember feeling a combination of so much pain and honestly nothing at all.
She had a pretty good scare of an injury, and her determination and just the way she goes about things. She's not very demonstrative or outspoken, but she works really hard. She just puts her nose down and just works.
So yeah, today is our last day in the academy. I think there's a lot of things going through my mind right now. On the one hand, I feel incredibly relieved to be at this point. It's been a long 5 months. It's been great, but it has been really challenging and definitely really tiring. And so it feels really relieving to have reached this milestone at this point in the process. We graduate on Friday, and yeah, it just feels really exciting. You know, speaking for myself, I think I'm mostly preoccupied with worrying about starting work soon, but I think for my family and for my partner, I'm really excited for them to be at graduation. This has not just been a journey that I've been on, but a journey that they've been on as well. Especially my partner, you know, she has been immensely supportive of me throughout this process. On the other side of the coin, it's a little nerve-wracking knowing that now we have to, or we get to, go out in the field and do the job. Yeah, it's mixed emotions for sure.
Super excited. It's been a long 16 weeks, and at the end of it, I finally get to graduate, get to go out there and actually be a firefighter. The thing I'm looking forward to most about being a probationary firefighter is to take everything that I've learned during the tower, during our time at Treasure Island, and putting it into effect to help people.
There are so many things that are going on in my mind at the moment because of the fact that today's the last day that we are actually on our training grounds here on Treasure Island. I can't believe that I'm actually here and that I've made it these 5 months. Getting in here, doing the best that I could possibly do, but now with graduation just being so close, I'm just nervous. I've created this family within the 130th Academy class where we've gotten to know each other and gotten to do skills together. But now when I go into my probationary home, now I'm gonna get to know those people and learn so many more skills and just get all of the hands-on experience and, you know, create that second family. It's been overwhelming. Just the amount of support that I have received. My family is my core and is my biggest support system, and they have been there and have just expressed unconditional love and support every step of the way.
Good morning, 130th. I know this is an exciting day for you. And, this is just one of the many milestones in your career. I am really proud of the Division of Training, and I'm proud of you, 130th. You took the cadre's lead, and you worked hard. You worked as a team, and that's how we always do it in the San Francisco Fire Department. This is a proud department with a proud history. We fight fires like no other fire department. We are leaders in community paramedicine and in alternatives to policing. We are firefighter EMTs, firefighter paramedics, but we are so much more, as you are going to find out during your careers. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Julie Ann Martin.
Today I graduated from San Francisco's 130th recruit class, and I became a San Francisco firefighter. I feel absolutely amazing. I always thought about how it would feel graduating, but feeling it in real life is crazy. I'm so excited to get started. My assignment is going to be Truck 9, Station 9 in the Bayview. It's in the industrial part of the city, and I'm extremely excited to get to do everything that the truck does, learn how to raise and lower the aerial, get to all of the different ladders and practice them in real life and apply them to situations that we've seen in the academy, but to see them in real life is going to be just a brand new thing.
Emily Spagnardi.
When I was going up the stage to get my badge, I was thinking about how sweaty my hands were. I was trying not to trip, but in reality, I was just thinking about how special of a moment it was. And to be honest, it kind of felt like everything kind of stood still for a second. And yeah, it was just a really special time to reflect on the journey. I feel really proud of my classmates for making it to graduation. I feel a lot of love towards my classmates and a lot of respect and admiration towards our instructors. It feels really good to be at this point after 21 weeks of hard work.
I would say I felt an immense amount of pride for what she's accomplished, having been along the ride, like even before Academy, like being a part of the journey that really led up to like the interviews and then the start of Academy and getting to this point. I know how much she's overcome and how much she's accomplished. I'm just so proud. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
Janaína Guerra Paez.
To be honest, I have a ball of emotions just running through me right now. It's just like electric energy. To have all of the overwhelming support from my family, from my friends, from everybody in the department, and from Oakland Department as well, is truly just overwhelming and is very emotional at the same time.
The whole thing is still a little surreal to me. 16 years ago, she pinned a badge on me when she was 15 years old. And coming till today and seeing where she's at right now, I couldn't possibly be more proud. And man, she got a lot of passion. She got a lot of heart.
When I saw him up there, in his Class A's, just as I am, it was just overwhelming. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry. I'm trying to hold it back. I couldn't stop it.
And then the chief says, who's gonna cry first?
Oh yeah, the chief says that to us. Oh, so who's gonna cry first? He did though, so then I was like, okay, I guess I can cry now.
I'm supposed to be this Oakland firefighter, and I'm supposed to be tough.
For the last time, I'd like to introduce
the newest, bravest San Francisco firefighters, the 130th.
So I am now at Station 9 on the truck. We're in the Bayview Junkyard Dogs. The day before graduation was our day to ask questions about what we're supposed to do, what should we be doing as a probationary firefighter instead of a recruit. My first day was November 22nd. It was actually, I was one of the lucky ones. I had my full weekend. I had 4 days after graduation to kind of get my mind right, get ready to go to work. Our instructors kept us in the dark, so we wouldn't really know what to expect. So that way, when we got here, it's how we adapt to the situation, not so much, here, this is exactly what's gonna happen, this is what you need to do. I was kind of freaking out the day before because I haven't been in a fire station before. And every single member was super welcoming here. But as far as fitting in with the firehouse, I think the most important thing is just kind of being yourself, knowing when to contribute and when to kind of sit back and just listen, because there's a wealth of knowledge around you everywhere. I could talk to any person in this station and learn so much. So I think I've really been able to hold on to what people have been telling me a lot more here and learn a lot more in a lot less time.
Transitioning from graduation to being a probationary firefighter, obviously it comes with a lot of changes. You learn a lot of things in the tower, a lot of skills, a lot of information. And then once you get into the field, you start to realize how all those pieces kind of actually come together in real time, which has been super cool to see how it all kind of unfolds in the field. I've been super lucky. I got placed at Station 17 on Engine 17, and I've just been super fortunate to have a really great group of folks to work with who have put in a lot of time and energy to help get me up to speed. I would say when I first started the academy, I was really nervous and excited. There is an element of nervousness that comes with being a probationary firefighter because you're just trying to keep up and learn as much as you can. But I would say that from the academy till now, there's also a lot of confidence building that's happened. These first 2 months, I think what's really stuck out to me is just how tight-knit this station is and how much people really care about the work that they do, and really pushes me, I think, to be better at the job.
Currently, I am a probationary firefighter for the San Francisco Fire Department. So the last 5 months that I was in the tower in the academy led me to here of drilling, testing, just acquiring all the basic foundation skills to become a firefighter. Now I'm actually actively doing it, but more specifically at the current house that I'm stationed at, which is Station 10. I am also fulfilled the role of an EMT because we are on an ALS unit where there is also a paramedic. So I'm pretty much just the paramedic's backup, providing them whatever they need as their assistant. But when it comes to the fires, I'm the one with the nozzle to go put out a fire. For me, my main concern right now is getting through probation because I don't have job security at the moment. Because during your probation, you can be let go at any time if you aren't meeting the expectations of what it is that they require from you. I want to be good at what I'm here to do in the position that I'm in now. The call volume in which I've seen during my watches have been anywhere from 7 to 10 calls within a day, which is pretty moderate. I'm just waiting for my first fire.
water knob. And we'll take it. We'll step on it. We'll measure at your shoulder.
And when we talk about being a model to other agencies, again, we hire a very diverse group, male and female. As long as you meet the standards and are able to take care of the business of the fire department and public safety, and being able to get along with your coworkers in all these stressful environments is key. So you're not an individual here. We are made up as a team. So you have to be willing to listen, you have to be willing to learn, and you have to be willing to push yourself all the way to the end, then you'll be successful here in San Francisco.
People ask us, oh, you just go to fires? And I said, no, we go to everything. Anything and everything that 911 is called. So it really depends on the person and where they are at. You know, we invite everybody to come try. If they think they can get here, then by all means. We're a great department, a large department, busy department, and we have a lot of things to see while working here. Best job in the world to this day.
So we prep them as best we can. Through all the experiences of all the instructors and myself, our job is to see them, we want to see them be successful. You know, we want to hear good reports. Again, it's like being a parent, right? I want to make sure that when they leave, we want to hear good things about them. And if we don't, we also want to check in and make sure, like, hey, what happened? I always want to hear it from now the probationary firefighter on what happened and how we can best support them, because they're not recruits anymore. They're professional probationary firefighters, and just because they left the tower doesn't mean that like we're done with them. Like I'm more invested in them now that they're my brother and sister than they were when they were a recruit, because now I can be working with them in the field if I'm working in the field that day. So it means a lot to me that they are successful, and I found a career that I absolutely 100% love. It's very rare that you can find a profession that you can love that much. I'm a public servant. I never want to forget the roots of what we do. We serve the citizens of San Francisco. I'm serving the citizens of San Francisco right now by training new firefighters. My job is to best prepare them for what they're going to be going into in the future.
So as we're in the community, you know, whether we're driving around, we're on a call, or we're shopping, the way that the community looks at us and looks at me, it's kind of surreal, because it still hasn't fully sunk in. Sometimes I have to reflect and say, like, you've made it here. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of your accomplishments, because for me, I want to strive and do more and be better.
So I would say, first of all, we don't just employ firefighters, we employ everyone on those ambulances that you see out there, EMTs and paramedics. Any of those things, being a firefighter, being an EMS worker, is a great career opportunity for someone who wants to be of service. I think it's really important that we have people who look like the community that we're serving. And that's part of the reason many of us joined this department, to create change from the inside. And we've done a lot of that, and we're going to continue to do that. There's a place for you here as an EMT, as a paramedic, as a firefighter. You just need to be able to put in the work. This is a big deal. Being in public safety in San Francisco, working for the San Francisco Fire Department is a big commitment. What better place if you want to serve your community than the San Francisco Fire Department?